Well, hello and welcome to part 2 of our Broadland location videos. Today, me and Charlie are at Gay's Stave, which is the River Ant next to Neatishead Head. So this is a renowned pike fishing spot. Some big pike have been caught here, but recently they told me that the pike don't come in here as much. But it's also quality perch fishing. And then you've got your roach, your bream, your skimmers, your rudd, possibly a tench. And now that we're on the River Ant, the chances of seeing one of those mystery carp are at its best. I reckon if you're going to see carp on the Broads, it's going to be in the River Ant. That's just my own personal opinion. Now, me and CJ have fished here. You've got about 6 foot in depth out in front of you, just a silty bottom, not a lot of weed. This bay is brilliant, or used to be brilliant. No one's fished it recently that I know of, so who knows what the fishing is like. But perch on the lure, this bay is supposed to be absolutely brilliant. Now you can night fish here. It is free fishing, and once again, all your natural baits, your sweet corn, maggot, caster, bread worms, just stick to them. I love the River Ant. Like I said, if you're going to see a carp in the Broads, it's going to be on the River Ant. And if you're on Aldi and you're on a boat, a lot of these venues you can just moor up and fish. As you can see, even now, the 1st of June, even though it doesn't look like it, the Broads are starting to get busy with boat traffic, which is all right. It's good for the businesses. Think of all the diesel that go in the water, and then bear in mind there's no restocking program on the Broads for fish whatsoever. So when people say to me the Broads are in decline, unfortunately I have to agree with them. The only good thing that I see on the Broads at the moment in the wildlife is the amount of red deer. There's red deer everywhere, and I know they're doing a lot of damage, so they're going to have to be controlled. But it is nice to see a nice herd of about 40 red deer with 4 or 5 stags in them in the field next to you as you drive through the Broads. Always be on the lookout for the wildlife. Like I said, don't be frightened of the otters. The otters will always tell you where fish are, so don't be put off by them. You're going to see them. They live here. It's nature. But just fish where they are. I've had good days fishing with otters, but they are only there because the fish are there. Anyway, this is Gay's Stave on the River Ant. I hope you try it out, and I hope you have a good time. Hello, second venue of video 2. We are here at Neatishead Head Stave, staying on the River Ant. This is a classic venue, but if you're going to fish it in the winter, get down here early, because there's often a match, or if there's not a match, it's very busy. In the summer, it's very busy with boats coming in and out to moor up, but me and CJ still fish it in the summer, and we've still done all right, catching bream, skimmers, roach, rudd, perch, a lot of pike here, maybe a carp, and maybe a tench. Let's go down to the end of the stave and I'll show you where to fish. Here we are at the end of the stave, River Ant in front of you. I'm getting on a bit, so you have to excuse me, but I'm going to sit down for this one. Can you still see me? Excellent. This is where I fish. I like to sit just here, fish the 4 metre whip with a single grain of corn. Now, it's all right fishing here, and I've had some good nets of fish, 30, 40 pounds, skimmers, quality roach, rudd, bream, perch. But the only thing is, these boats will be in and out all the time you're sitting here. They'll be in and out all over there, turning round, but it doesn't scare the fish. It might put them off for 1 or 2 minutes, but then they're back. And I'll show you where I fish. I literally fish the 4 metre whip with a single grain of corn that's about 6 foot deep. I like to be about 6 to 8 inches over depth, so I pick up the skimmers and the bream, and that works a treat. And I like to be just out there, seriously, 3 metres out on the 4 metre whip, and that is brilliant fishing here. You can fish on the other side. There's another end there. You can get 2 anglers, one fishing out into the River Ant and one fishing into the Stave, and exactly the same here. But the good thing is, the boats will never be able to moor in front of you because they're not allowed to. But if you can put up with them in and out through the day, and in the evening it does die off, obviously they get moored up and go to the pub. And if you're coming here on holiday, Neatishead Head Stave, come and moor up and fish off your boat. You've got an award-winning pub 500 yards down the road to your right. And then if you go left out of the car park, you've got Barton Broad Boardwalk and Broad Tours all up that way. So, this is Neatishead Head Stave. Me and CJ will be fishing here, and we'll do a video here later in the year. But if you can get here to fish, give it a go. It's well worth fishing. Well, here we are then, venue number 3, Barton Turf on the River Ant. You've got Cox's boatyard there to the right, and if you can get him to let you go in there and fish his boatyards for pike, you've hit the jackpot. I haven't been able to get in there yet. I've nearly had a yes, but not quite. And where we're actually walking, this must have all been underwater, because I am sinking. The ground here is actually sodden. But I do like this piece of water. I like the lily pads. I think it looks great. Yes, there's still a lot of water under the bench. This field, this piece of grass has definitely been underwater at some point recently. These pieces of water here in the boatyard you can fish into there. Well worth fishing for pike. Barton Turf has a reputation for producing some very big pike in the past. I've actually seen in the middle of winter people have bivvied up on this lawn for pike. But I normally just float fish out there. Quality roach, quality rudd, quality perch. I've never caught bream skimmers out of here, but I know they do get in here, as well as the odd tench. But Barton Broad is specifically well known for pike. Brilliant pike spot. Love all this, but it does hold quality roach. Otherwise the pike wouldn't be in here, would they? So it is a good little float fishing venue. All free fishing again. But once again in the summer we'll get busy with holiday makers. And if you are a holiday maker, why not actually stay on Barton Broad? Loads of mooring, loads of people get in here, absolutely heaving in the summer, but then in the winter that's when the fishing begins. But I have fished this in the summer with CJ and we had some nice nets of roach, again on sweet corn. What we find is when we fish the Broads, we won't use maggot as a hook bait 9 times out of 10. I will always use corn over liquidised bread, and it always does the job. Even for perch, my PB perch, just under £3, was on a single grain of corn fished over liquidised bread. And throwing a ball of liquidised bread into the water in the centre of Wroxham, where it's crystal clear, I could see all the fry move into the ball of liquidised bread. So the perch would just move into that ball of liquidised bread for the fry, hence taking my grain of sweet corn. Nice result. Quality perch in here as well. So there you go then, Barton Turf on the River Ant. Well, here we are at the final destination for today's video, and where else could we be but in the heart of the Broads, in the centre of Wroxham. This stretch of the River Bure is absolutely stuffed with fish, from your quality roach, rudd, perch, quality pike, loads of tench, and maybe even a carp about, and definitely some chub. There is chub here. And I never really, in the winter, had a bad day here. In the summer, I can't comment because I've not fished it in the summer. But I love fishing the 4 metre whip here. The feeder rod is good, but don't go more than halfway out with the feeder rod. And you fish over that way towards the bridge that goes over the entrance of the boatyard. There's a mussel bed, and that is a good area for picking up tench in the winter. Well, even in the summer, if you want to fish here in the summer. The only problem with fishing here is a lot of rats, especially at night, and that's just because of all the bird food that lays about that don't get cleared up. But you have to go along with that. That's just the way life is, yeah? It's well worth fishing, all free fishing. But just over to my right, you've got Chunky's Tackle Shop. In the centre of town, you've got Angle and Direct. And in the centre of town that way, you've got all the boatyards. But there's only one boatyard left now that you can fish, just because people were fishing the boatyards without asking permission. So they banned it all. So the rest of us that did ask permission can't fish the boatyards. And there's only one left where I got permission to fish, and I'm not going to tell you where that is, but it's well worth fishing. Anyway, so that's Wroxham for you. Lovely place, loads of people about, you've got all your amenities here, fish and chips, bacon rolls, McDonald's, everything. The only thing I will say though, once you get into Wroxham, you do really need an American Express Gold card, because prices seem to treble, except in the tackle shop. But everywhere else it is expensive. So bring a packed lunch and something to drink. Anyway, thanks for watching this. It's been great visiting these locations, and me and CJ will be up doing it again shortly. But with the season coming up, let's get fishing. I'll see you all soon.